This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Jade Empire. The last episode, we continue to explore Tien's landing. Ran across a captain whose shipmates might be wanting to mutiny. A man named Baker Bay, who a former friend is now has like a hit list out for him or something like that, but wants to talk to her. So we'll have to help him with that. We saw Minister Sheng and all of his folly, how he can't not do anything because, well, look behind us. His building's on fire and it's been destroyed. So he's a pathetic politician indeed. But we'll actually talk to him today and see what we can do there. Also got a man wants us to get like an instrument. Yes, we're on a quest for an instrument of discord, apparently, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, today we're going to talk to that politician and finish the rest of Tien's landing before we head out to the wild blue yonder, if we will. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's see. This guy asked us if we were trained in combat, and we'd like to test those skills. Let's see. If you want to test me in combat, if enough silver's on the line, I'm interested in whatever you have to say. Why should I waste my time on a man begging aid on the side of the street? Yeah, why should I waste my time on a man begging aid on the side of the street?
You're insolent, but confident. You're exactly the kind of person Lord Yun is looking for, if you can watch your tongue in his presence. The great southern forest, which lies north of this village, suffers from a terrible disease. Every tree within its borders sickens, and the place is infested with ghosts of all manners.
Lord Yun, huh? And possible treasures. And it's not insolence if you can back it up and you're truly better than the person you're talking to. Does anyone know what causes sickness? It sounds like an expensive problem to resolve. You waste my time. I am no gardener. I kind of like the air, the super like, ugh. You waste my time. I am no gardener.
Lord Yun, my master, seeks a way to open the forest again and make it safe for travel. He is prepared to reward whoever aids him. Our men are no match for the ghosts in the forest. Perhaps you are.
Ah, ghosts in the forest. Yes, that's true. Most people can't fight spirits except for like spirit monks and others with them and other such people. What's happening in the... Oh, I think we were asked that.
As I said, the trees in the... No caravan dares to travel its depths, cutting off huge sections of the south from the Empire's heart. And Lord Yun collects no taxes when no one travels his lands.
Ah, poor baby. He doesn't get taxes because we're not traveling the roads. Now, back in the day, you used to travel roads. I mean, people have an issue with, like, well, at least in the state I live in, we have, where you have to pay tolls on the roads and stuff like that. And, you know, in other states, they're probably like, well, that's stupid. Why should I have to do that? It's like, well, technically, they've been doing that for centuries. That's not an old idea. That's not a new idea. They just streamlined it to be more mechanical and required. Back in the day, you could avoid tax collectors. In this day, or at least depending on where you are, you could get, you know, photographed and then get sent a ticket in the mail. How fun. Anyway, how do I reach the forest?
You must leave Tien's landing via the gate and follow the roadway to the north. The forest is but a short journey away, and Lord Yun makes his camp at the base of a hill, which should be easy to find. The path there is relatively safe, but travel beyond his camp and things worsen considerably.
I see. Well, I'll think about it. Goodbye.
Go safely, and remember what I've said. Lord Yun needs the help of able warriors like yourself.
I try to remember if that's one of those places I have to go to, because we go to the dam to get this, to find a way to get the spirit amulet. We have to go to we have to go through, after that we have to go to Gao's tower to deal with Gao and worry about Master Li if we can. I'm trying to remember why we need to go to the forest. Other than that quest line, I'm trying to remember if actually any plot relevance requires us to go in there. I don't know. I'll think about it. I think well, I mean, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do all the side quests. I'm just trying to remember what there was a reason other than quest to get experience and all that. Anyway, let's talk to Merchant Sheng, who had that guy just try to steal one of his swords and then just pop out. Leave me be. An honest merchant used to make a good living in this town, but those drunken sailors have stolen most of my goods. I have nothing to sell you. Well, okay, I guess I'll leave you alone then, with your fatness. And whatever they're taking, you're a bad merchant if you can't protect your own goods, then you're useless to me. You're a bad merchant if you can't protect your own goods. I am a very good merchant. Besides, most of what was taken were simple perishables like grain or fruit, hardly worthy the bother of trying to protect them. The only thing I'm really upset about is a clay figurine. Yesterday, Tong, one of the sailors, took it. There was nothing I could do to stop him. Oh, that drunk douche. Yeah, okay, I know who he is. The figurine isn't worth much, but it belonged to my mother. I wish there was some way to get it back. Oh, your mother, huh? Do you still live with your mother? I probably shouldn't say anything about that. So there's nothing I can do to help. Have you told the authorities about this? This isn't my problem. This isn't my problem. Normally, I would look to the local officials to help, but as you've already seen, Minister Sheng can do little about these sailors. No one in town can help. We are just simple villagers. Tong knows he can do whatever he wants to me and get away with it. Tong will pay for what he's done. Is there some kind of reward if I help you? I'll talk to Tong for you. I want to ask about something else. I don't have time for this. Is there some kind of reward if I help you? If you can convince Tong to return my mother's figurine, I'll give you a discount on all my merchandise when it arrives. I promise. If you say so. Where can I find Tong? I'll talk to... I'll run into him. I'll see. Where can I find Tong? I know where he is, but... Tong and his friends are usually getting drunk near the storehouses past Beggar's Pier in the southeast end of town. Be careful. I've heard they're good with their fists. Now, we'll see about that. I want to ask you some questions. Of course, Honorable One. What do you wish to know? Where can I find Tong? Tell me about Sheng and the Ministry of Harmony. Minister Sheng is the Minister of Harmony's representative here at Tien's Landing. The ministry normally oversees the collection of taxes and distribution of justice. But with the late problems we have been plaguing this area of late, he cannot do his job well at all. I would never say so to him. Pussy. I mean, most people are like that. They'll complain all they want, but then when they actually confront the person, they're not willing to go to the next step. Where's the Great Dam? Great Dam is located on the haunted ruins of the old town. It would be inadvisable to go there, as I said. It is haunted. Rumors say that the ghosts of those who died in the dam was closed his residence, seeking vengeance. It's heresy, of course, but still, I would never go there. How could the Great Dam be closed? I'm sorry to say that, I do not know, but surely a dam that can be opened can be closed. The engineer and architects must have made some sort of mechanism. But I am just a humble merchant. You should speak to Minister Sheng from the Ministry of Harmony. He would surely know more about this than I do. We'll check it out, I guess. I'll be going now. Of course, this humble merchant thanks you for your time. Well, we now got a reason to talk to Tong again. Let's see. Oh, Minister Shui?
Ah, I see the glint of intelligence, nobility, wisdom, consideration, and piety in your eye. A fine day to you. What can I sell you?
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen when we started commenting me. That's a lot to see at just a glint. Let me see your wares. Do you sell wind maps? Oh, yeah. That's it, the wind map. Although I think Gao the Greater was supposed to have that. That's why we're supposed to go after Gao. That's right. Man, you could tell this is what happens when I don't play a week at a time. I forget like all the details like that. That's a lot to see in just a glint.
Well, I make my living by knowing people. I can clearly see that you are of the finest sort. That is to say, the sort with silver ready in hand. Can I interest you in some seed? What about a pitchfork? I have hay as well.
You're talking to a guy with a glint in his eye, and you're talking about farming mechanics. Yeah, didn't drop the ball on that one, didn't you, dipshit? Do you sell wind maps?
I'm afraid I do not. Just a few years ago, you could find wind maps everywhere, although only the rich needed them with their airship racing. Recently, the wind maps have disappeared. I know that when the Emperor's men left Tien's Landing, they took all the wind maps with them. There are those who say... but it is not important.
Go on. Tell me. I'm done with you. Tell me.
Some say that Death's Hand is collecting all the wind maps and destroying them so that only he and his minions may travel freely about the Empire. However, I do not believe such talk. I believe firmly in the goodness, kindness, and wisdom of our Emperor and all those around him.
Ah, that's an idiot right there where you hear questioning things, but then you're like, I'll never question it. I'm just a sheep. So no one has maps besides Death's Hand. Have you ever thought the Emperor might be less than good? So no one has wind maps beside Death's Hand?
I suppose there may still be merchants in the Imperial City who have some, and they were once so widely available that there must be some here and there. But I do not have any, nor do I know anyone who has one.
Let me see your wares.
I have the finest selection of seed, I carry excellent baskets, wonderful fish nets, and superb boat scrubbers.
Oh, right. You said that earlier, so that's kind of worthless. Do you have any, you think, useful, like, weapons or magical items? Now, this is a D&D campaign when you start asking about magical items from regular people.
I have a cloak so warm it's like a weapon against the cold. I have a scrubber so good that it cleans like magic.
Are you talking about things that actually do what they're supposed to do? You don't actually have anything I'd want, do you?
Just figure that out, did you?
A completely unfair assertion. After all, who wouldn't want a basket so big you can carry 2 babies in it?
I don't think I'll be going to be having any children anytime soon, dude. And quiet your mouth, Sagacious Zoo. No back talk. I'm done speaking with you.
Very well. When you're ready to spend, I am ready to sell.
Alright. Okay, so yes. Sagacious Zoo is like, kind of likes, not back-talking you. He does like kind of, either, not quite making fun of you is the word I wouldn't use, but, he's snarky sometimes. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Urchin.
Life seems normal enough here. You could almost ignore all that has happened.
Well, almost. Almost everything. Are you have any? No, you just don't. You can kind of tell people that can be talked to and people that are ignorable or ones that just walk around. You can tell by their faces and their mapping on their bodies and stuff like that. All right.
This is bad. Oh, this is bad. River dried up, pirates everywhere. This is worse than the long drought. Five people died yesterday. Pirates raided one of the outlying farms, took the whole family as slaves.
So I didn't read that other guy's thing because it kind of caught me unawares. Look at that! Look at that horrible monster! Two-Face! Oh, kill it! Kill it! No, that's the problem with spawning random dudes. Huh, those guys had names, yet all they talk about is gossip. Huh. Old way, huh? Do you know the way, old way? No way! Alright, anyway, let's stop making fun of other cultures' namings. Okay.
Hey? What do you want?
Who are you, old man? I've come to threaten you.
I'm Wei. Some call me Old Wei, but that's because they don't know Old Chan. If I'm old, he's ancient. He's at least a week older than me. Of course, we're both pretty old compared to most of the people in Tien's Landing. Why, most of them don't even remember what it was like before the flood.
Yeah, I think I remember the story about a flood like a while back. I think I've heard him blather for one lifetime. Yeah.
Away with you then, youngster. Turn your back on Old Wei.
Alright, let's talk to you again.
You again? What do you want now?
Surprised you remember me at your age.
Oh, I may have one foot in the grave, but my mind is still sharp. Pray you can say the same when you've seen as many years as I have, youngster.
Who knows? Were you here during the flood?
Yes, youngster, I was. Still remember it like yesterday. This town, Tien's Landing, used to be where the 3 plateaus come together downriver. Oh, it was a fine town. 18 years ago, Emperor Sun was young and flush with success from ending the drought. He began public works all over the Empire, including the Great Dam downriver. The workmen came and started building it near our town. We were not engineers, and so we were not sure what it would mean. Some worried that it might flood us out. Most were unconcerned. After all, if there were any danger, the Emperor would tell us, surely. One day, the Great Dam was finished, and the floodgates were closed.
And story. I mean, what happened? Foolish peasants. Foolish peasants.
The town flooded. We took what we could and fled. Mothers ran about screaming for their children who'd gone out to play. Children screamed for their dogs. Some folks climbed to the roofs of their houses and refused to leave. We survivors straggled upriver, Some collapsed from exhaustion, but the water kept rising. I carried a boy and a girl, and I saw another boy fall, but I couldn't carry him. Finally, I fell over too, and when I woke, I found the water had stopped rising.
That must be horrible, old man. But you're old, so, go on.
The Great Dam had created an enormous lake, and we settled our new town on the banks. The lake completely covered the ruins of our town. Life went on, but no word ever came from the Imperial City. No warning, no explanation. Did we displease the Emperor, or were we just beneath his notice? I will never know. The crewmen who manned the Great Dam would come to town sometimes, but they knew no more than we. I will go to my grave never knowing.
I would say that when it came to your choices on like why it happened, I would say the latter. But no one here will talk about the ruins. You never sought revenge for flooding every town. I saw the ruins on my way here. They aren't underwater. You never sought revenge for the flooding of every town.
You look like you know how to fight. You look like you can stand up for yourself, so you don't understand. We are villagers. We farm and fish. We live at the mercy of the gods, nature, and the Emperor. If one or all of these masters is kind, it is good. If one or all choose to be cruel, well, there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to get the fish hauled in.
Ha ha, you're peasants. You have a bad life. Anyway, every time we're sorry, your parents or whatever happened to you. We'll do that here in a second. No one will talk about the ruins.
The people started a new life here, but there was much pain and sorrow. Conversations would trail off. At night you could hear women sobbing, and not a few men. Finally, people stopped talking about the past, and then they refused to talk about it altogether. And eventually they pretended it never happened.
Yes, pretending it never happened will clearly fix all the issues with your psyche or whatever happened to you guys. Yep, that's the best way to do it. Anyway, I saw the ruins on my way here. They aren't underwater.
A few months ago, the Emperor's engineers and soldiers left. They just went off in the night. Soon after, the Great Dam opened on its own. There wasn't anyone around. The water drained, revealing the old ruins. And underwater these 18 years. And now they're back. I don't know what made the Great Dam open. Some say it was ghosts. They say those who died in the town don't want to be forgotten.
Why do every time they mention ghosts, I think of a Scooby-Doo episode for some reason? Zoinks, Monster or Sagacious Zoo! There's ghosts there! Why is anyone close? Yeah, never saw revenge. I can't say you peasants deserve what you got anymore. Dang it. Why hasn't anyone closed the gates?
Oh, we don't know how. We're simple people, and the Great Dam is not a simple thing. They say there is magic involved in its construction.
Yeah, it's called engineering. True magic indeed. Well, I guess depending on who you talk to, but you peasants. Oh, there we go. You peasants deserve whatever happened to you.
I don't know that you're wrong, but everyone has to make their own choices. Pray you never have to make some of the choices I have.
Yeah, I'm playing a Discord version of this character, so I'm fine with all the choices I make. All right, let's talk to the low politician who has been forced to grace us with his presence. Oh, poor baby.
It is not easy to be Minister Sheng, beset with troubles and doom, and now interrupted by some difficult stranger. Truly, can you not see that I am busy watching my career slide into oblivion? Minister Sheng simply hasn't time for your petty concerns. I have problems of my own.
You know, I just realized he talks about himself in the third person. Kind of reminds me of another politician. And Bob Dole is against drugs and crime, and Bob Dole, vote for Bob Dole. Bob Dole. Bob Dole. Anyway, what are you minister of? What kind of problems do you have? And he has some questions. What are you minister of?
The Ministry of Harmony, which oversees taxation and execution, usually in that order. But poor Minister Sheng oversees nothing in this dying town. Nothing but failure! This backwater pimple of a town lives off of the lake created by the Great Dam. But the Great Dam is open and the lake is dry. The town is dying. Under my supervision.
Sounds like you suck. Like, terribly. You don't seem to be a great dealer. If you, or not, yeah, you don't know the art of the deal, apparently. As I roll my eyes, mentioning something in modern time by the time of this recording. Why is the great... is there anything to be done? I'm searching for a fleet of flyers. I've heard there's pirates around. Why is the Great Dam open?
I have nary a clue. Unless... very well, you've convinced me to talk. It is dangerous to say anything, but I am a brave man. It was that horrible Inquisitor, Lim. Lim oversees the Lotus Assassin operations in this area. A few weeks ago, he came to town and demanded a key to the ruins. Then his men went up there and opened the Great Dam.
Inquisitor Lim, huh? Well, not that that's that big of a deal to me, but it is important to recognize. I wonder why they did that. Yeah. Why exactly, game? Why did they do that? No one else seems to know about the assassins. No one else seems to know about the assassins.
I didn't want the town to panic, so I kept Lim's presence here a secret. Better the peasants think it was ghosts. A much less terrifying idea. Inquisitor Lim has his assassins searching for something, though what it is I couldn't say. Minister Sheng knows better than to stick his nose in the business of the Lotus Assassins.
Well, I guess I agree with you on that one. Same with sticking your hand in a beehive to get some honey. Oh, Pooh Bear, you silly bear. Is there anything I can do? I want to ask you about something else. It doesn't concern me. I want to ask you about something else.
I am sure you do, but first you will hear my cries of pain. You must help Minister Sheng. Some brave soul must travel through the old ruins, which are absolutely not infested with ghosts, and close the Great Dam. The gate to the ruins is locked, but I have a key. I cannot order or even ask someone to go do this. If the Great Dam closes, the ruins will flood. Various assassins and soldiers will be killed. Not good for my career. But if I happen to lose the key and someone happened to find it, the town could be saved and the problem solved without any sanction from me.
So he wants to do your dirty work because you lost the key. And at least the loss of the assassins wouldn't be too bad, but the regular soldiers, they are Emperor's soldiers, so it's kind of almost odd for a politician to be, suggesting that someone do something like that. Oh boy. Hey, why'd you just give me? Is that a key? Interesting, I'll think about it. Is there a reward for doing this? If you're done babbling, I have some questions for you. Hey, what'd you just give me? Is that a key?
What are you talking about? I haven't given you anything. Although I will need that back when you're done. Oh, and I am certainly not going to tell you that the ruins can be reached by heading across the footbridge and out the west gate of town. It wouldn't be proper.
Back where we came from, yeah. Well, it looks like we've been thrust upon this, even though we were going to do it anyway because we need to get there. But still, is there a reward for doing this? Would you happen to not know anything about the flyers while we're at it? Is there a reward for doing this?
Not for me, certainly, because I never asked you to do anything, right? Now, I happen to know of a ship's captain down on the waterfront, Ing, I think, who is trapped here. He has a big cargo rotting in his hold. I am sure he would pay a good sum to anyone who could close the Great Dam. Of course, being a stranger, he'd not be able to tell you that you'd need to go through the ruins which lie through the West Gate. Tourists rarely know the lie of the land, you see.
Yes, we heard that before, and we already got Ing about he'll give us all his silver if he can. So of course we're not going to get paid by the government, so we'll have to earn our money from the poor peasantry for our deeds. What was that key you put in my pet? Well, we already asked that. Would you happen to not know anything about flyers while we're at it?
Minister Sheng remembers when flyers were reserved for the wealthy elite of the Imperial City. Now pirates use them to raid the countryside. Disgraceful. I suppose in theory you could find a flyer at the pirate camp upriver. In practice, however, I doubt you would find the pirates very accommodating. I suppose Rue the bosun is mad enough to take you if he's drunk. Yes, Rue is surely the only one who would make the trip. And then the pirates would kill you.
Oh, well, maybe kill him, not me. I'm awesome. That's all I need to know. I'll see what I can do. Well, I know where Rue is, but I'm going to ask him anyway. Where can I find Rue, the boatswain? Whatever.
Rue announced 3 days ago that he was going to close the Great Dam, but first he stopped at the tea house for a bowl of wine. As far as I know, he's still there.
Yep, I can attest to that, good Minister Sheng. Where's the tea house?
Minister Sheng has been reduced to a tour guide. The tea house is the large building just down the hill from here, near the entrance to the town.
I kind of like tormenting this guy. There's just something funny about it. Need to find a flyer. I forgot about that. Has a fleet of flyers passed by recently?
I recently saw a large fleet of flyers pass by. Minister Sheng held out hope that they had come to escort him away from this demeaning post and back to the Imperial City. But the flyers never stopped in Tien's Landing. They headed upriver towards the pirates' camp. No doubt they went there to refuel, though where they are now, I could not say.
We do need a flyer, or at least flyer parts. So, the pirates' camp, hey. Another reason to go there. What can you tell me about what can you tell me about these pirates?
The pirates are just one more affliction that plagues this troubled town, and yet another headache for poor Minister Sheng. They raid the surrounding countryside, swooping down with their flyers to capture slaves. Do you know how bad it looks when someone under my jurisdiction is captured by slavers? Fortunately, they haven't attacked the town itself yet. Gao, the man I hear is running them, knows that would draw too much attention.
Yeah, so Gao has possibly a flyer, as well as possibly a wind map as well. So this guy's got everything. And, information about Master Li and what we tell him about what we did to his son. Oh, that's going to be good. But there are pirates wandering all over this town.
The drunks clogging up the streets aren't pirates. They're only traveling merchants, sailors who were trapped here when the dam was opened. Minister Sheng finds them to be an annoyance, but not a concern worth worrying about. If the dam is closed, they will simply disappear. Not like Gao and his pirates.
Did you say Gao was in charge?
Yes, I believe that was his name. Gao. An unsavory character by all accounts. There are even rumors he is connected to that infamous crime syndicate known as the Guild. The pirates have been operating in this area for many years, or so I was told. However, things became much more serious when Gao took over. The pirates started using flyers and gathering slaves at an enormous rate. I imagine things are very unpleasant over at their camp. Not that I'm willing to go take a look.
Interesting. So these these pirates got a new head dude, and they basically technologically advanced themselves to the point to be efficient or whatever. Slaves, easy. Swoop them up in a bear trap. Has anyone tried to stop them?
Are you accusing Minister Sheng of neglecting this problem? It's not that easy. One can't simply point and say, the pirates are over there. Well, actually, one can. But the only approach is by river, and no sane bargeman would be willing to risk such a journey. Sane people don't go looking for the pirates. They avoid them. I suppose Rue the bosun is mad enough to take you if he's drunk.
Okay, we heard that conversation before.
Oh,
A flyer. Let me ask you something else.
certainly. Let us discourse on a variety of topics. It isn't as if Minister Sheng has anything better to do. What shall we talk about?
What are you doing? You're talking to me, so there you go. Let's see. I want to ask you about the Empire, the town. Curious about you. We'll get back to that here in a second.
Yes, go and leave Minister Sheng alone to ponder his troubles. Now go close the Great Dam, and I never said that.
Alright, got an update, runes key, so now we have an obvious place to go to. Like, if anything points us to anything, it's to go back to this side of town, to the tea house through that way, where we met, like, Silk Fox and all them, and then just go down through that and deal with the ghosts. However, there's still a few more questions for Master Sheng, and a few quests we can do in town before that, and then finally we'll leave the town for good and finally get some good old action in for a bit. I know some people don't like multiple episodes of just talking and nothing happening from an action standpoint, but that's a BioWare game for you. That's just how it is. So in the next episode of Jade Empire, well, we'll do some more quests and leave this town for a while and try to get some of the major plot lines going on. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.